Good morning, everybody. Okay, so this morning I'm on my way to Sakis Motors. The reason I'm going down there is to do a video for all you Wolverhampton drivers on this new walk-around checks you have to do for your vehicle before you start any shift. And now this is quite important to every one of you Wolverhampton drivers, because if you're involved in an accident or you even got pulled up by enforcement officers on these roadside checks they do, and if you were not to have this done before you started your shift, you are actually in breach of your license. Now that could result in you losing your badge. It could also mean you losing the license for your vehicle as well at the same time. So, and the reason I'm going to Sakis Motors really is because I want to do this video correctly. I need someone who's expertise in this field. And for people who know Sakis and Navid in particular at Sakis Autos, he's been doing this all day long, Wolverhampton drivers vehicle checks. So let's get down there and see what we could do. Okay, before we go, let me just show you quickly how we access this page where the checks are all to be listed. So firstly, if you type in Google Taxiwalkaround, you'll come to this search here and you press that, the first thing, and this is the actual form you need to fill in. What you want to do is actually save this onto your phone as a web page, so you can access it straight away. And you can see on here, you'll ask you all the questions we're going to be doing down there about what we on here. So, likes of brakes, hauls, all that sort of thing. So that's how you access the page. You just go to Google, press Taxiwalkaround. The first result will be Wolverhampton Council's result. Press that link and you'll come to this form, and that's the form we're going to be working off.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's your brother Naveed from Sakis Auto Centre, home of the Hackney Carriage, Birmingham and the Wolverhampton MOTs. Today I'm actually doing a video for all my Wolverhampton drivers, all the brothers out there, now for the requirement is the walkaway. So Abdul, if you come closer, and I'm just doing basically the PDF version, because I printed all this out. So I know pretty much what to look out for and what they want us to do. But for you boys, you'll have it all online, so you'll just be ticking it off as you go along. So I'm just going to head towards the car now, and then we'll do a walk around covering basically everything for you. Then we are now inside the vehicle. We're just going to go by the list. Obviously, you fill in your reg, license numbers and all that, all online. And then here, the first thing on the list is your brakes. So basically, all you're doing is pressing your brake pedal. Now when you press your brake pedal, that should travel about halfway. If it's going any further past halfway, then there's an issue with your brakes and you need to get that checked out. So this one's all bang on, so I'll tick that off. The next thing now is your handbrake. Because on this one it's actually on your foot again, and all you're doing is just pressing it, and just to make sure it's holding in there, and then you're pressing it and to make sure that it's releasing properly, so which is bang on. And now it's asking us to check the horn, all the accessibilities from your driver's seat and horn. That's your simple horn check. So that's all done, which is saying it's from the seat and you're sitting in there. And then the other thing here now is saying steering wheel play. Now, as you can feel here, there's nothing. If there was steering play, you will hear some kind of a knocking noises as you're rocking the steering back and forth, and there's nothing else to it. So that's all that one done. And then now we're going to check all the lights. So this is where we're going to put the ignition on. Oh, hang on, sorry, the car was on. Let me just fire the car up. The car is on. So basically then we've done half the checks already there. So now we're just doing is all your lights. So I would suggest turn all your lights on fully. Obviously you can see your flashes working from far, so we already checked that. And then what we do is just switch on your fog lights, switch on your hazard lights, And now we're going to walk out the car and then have a look at the front. And all we're doing over here is, ladies and gentlemen, the indicators are working, your side repeater is working, the headlight aim is working, and then if you have your dim lights on this one here, the dim lights are over here. So they're all working, and then you just check in the condition of the actual lens, and same again on this side here. Dim lights, headlights, your indicators. This is why it's best to put your hazard lights on. and you're looking at your side repeater on this one, you have to come round to see the side repeater. And yeah, that's all working as well. So if you go back onto our list, so we've done the front half, sorry, so come round the back. So coming around the back here again, we're doing the same thing. Your position lamps obviously are these are the dim lights. Your indicators on both sides, position lamps again. And then what we're doing also here is that's your fog light is mandatory on the driver's side rear only. There's only one light. And then over here on the bottom, you just lift your tailgate up and you can see the two number plate lights are done. So they're all working. And the hardest bit here, which is also in this as well, we're going to pick it up. So that's all your lights and your lens. Now this is a good vehicle to give an example on. The lens everywhere is all perfect. Even on this one, yeah, the lens is slightly cracked, but there's no sharp edges and it's not showing any white light. So on an MOT or anything, I would advise you to get a replacement as soon as possible, but it's still safe to work with. And for the brakes now, all you're doing with the brake lights now, I know we're in daylight and we haven't got anything here, but if you can find someone, all you're doing is pressing the brakes on and on off. And Abdul, are they working? Yep, and they are working, and that's all they're checking. The only faults you get with the brake lights, if the brake light bulb is burnt out, you'll work on one side and not the other side. Or worst case scenario, if your brake light switch is stuck on, your brake light will stay on automatically, they'll stay on fully, which is a dangerous defect, or they might not work at all. So coming back to the list, Brother Abdul. So that's everything there now, basically your stop lights, all your lens, that's half your list done already. Now we're going to go back inside the vehicle again, just to do some inside vehicle checks. We're still rolling. Right, good. What we're doing here is basically what they're asking you on this, check all lamps are working. So basically they're just interested in your airbag lights, your ABS lights, and then the handbrake light. So if I switch the ignition on, if you go onto the dashboard, you will see all them lights come on. I'll just keep them there, yeah, so you can see, but they do come on and go off very quickly, so I'll just do it a couple of times. So just to point out which light is which, yeah. So if I was to switch the ignition on, that's your ABS light, that red one there with the balloon on his face is your airbag light, and those are the two main lights. So if I switch it off, and on these you've got to press the brake. So as you can see, now the ignition is on, all them lights have disappeared. If there's any light that stays lit, ABS, airbag or anything, then it's a major fault. And that there now, Abdul, the red light, that's your handbrake warning light to tell you that your handbrake is on or off. So that's this bit here. See, it's nice and easy because I do this every day, yeah. So that's basically, we've done 5 checks there straight away. Now this is one of my favorite ones here, mirrors and glasses. Very simple. All you're doing is looking at your center mirror, you can see at the back. Looking at the left mirror, you can see at the back there's no cracks, no damages. Same on this side here again. Looking at the back, there's no cracks, no damages. You can see your driver's view to the back. And other than that, he's just saying, yeah, about obviously the tints and that. Yeah, direction indicators, basically they're all same thing. And then he's saying all windows are operational. And then if you got a beautiful car like Abdul's, you can just check, make sure all your windows are going up and down, and the back ones as well, they're all going up and down. And that is basically that check done. Again, another few things covered. Now the other check which I'm going to do, this is quite important, yeah. It's saying check all seats are secure and all seat belts work and they haven't got any cuts. So Abdul, you're gonna have to follow me around again. And then seat belts, same thing, but remember, always pull the seat belt all the way out as far as you can, and all we're looking for here is any rips, cuts or anything like that. And this is important, and just make sure they all are clicking in and clicking out. That's your front seat belt done. And the security of the seat, basically all it is just that, just give it a move, because obviously this seat moves back and forth. All you're doing is making sure it's locking into place. And then coming right to the back. Coming back to the back, same thing again, plug in your seat belt, pull the seat belt all the way out, and it's all working perfectly. Just give it a little tug just to make sure it locks. Same again, pull your seat belt out all the way to make sure there's no rips or cuts, and obviously they're all clicking. Same with this one. Now the only common issue with these I will give you, which I find on the testing, sometimes these buckles over here, they get wedged underneath the seat, so you need to dig them out here. And that's just one thing. And the other common thing which I noticed, these seat belts, you know, when people move their seats around, this be stuck in the back. So you have to move that and get it out. And what you got to watch out for, that people don't slam these the actual seat onto the latch here, and that is what causes the damage to the seat belts. And the security, again, like I just says, you just tug your seats, make sure they're all good, and that is basically all your seat belts and your seat checks. Actually, there you go, simple again. So that's all your seat belts and all your seats are done. Yeah. This next one, very easy again. Yeah, saying about the wipers, switches, washers, and washer fluid top up. All you do is just grab this here, and as you can see, your washers are working perfectly, your wipers are clearing the windscreen, and that's the only thing that we are doing over here. And then that's another tick. Just simple things, really, nothing too difficult. And then the next one now, this one here, we're gonna have to go out the car, and then I'll do the under bonnet check with you guys. Yeah, so the bonnet is open, so we are doing what they're asking you over here is your battery being secure and the terminals and battery leak as well. So obviously don't touch anything without gloves on. I haven't got my gloves on at the moment, usually I do. All we're doing is just checking your leads, make sure the leads are tight, they're not moving, the battery itself is not going to fall out, and if there was any leaks, it would be wet around here, and if it's wet around here, I wouldn't advise you to touch that. So that's a tick over there. And while we're here, it's same again, it's just asking you the same thing to make sure there's no corrosion on these leads. And as you can see, these are pristine clean, and which most of the cars they are. So that's a tick over there. And while we're under the bonnet here, he's asking for quite a few things on this actually. So I'll just basically simplify them as much as I can. Yeah, your brake fluid reservoir is in there. Yeah, this is where I would suggest either use your phone torch or any other torch. You can see the fluid there if I just move it a little bit. Don't be too vigorous on these because you don't want to pull it out. Yeah, but you can see the fluid dancing around in there. So that's your fluid check. Okay, there's a max sign on the side and there's a minimum side. If it is below minimum or if it's down the bottom, you can top it up, but before topping it up, take it down to your nearest garage and ask why is that fluid dropped down. Chances are your brake pads are worn, so they probably need replacing. And over here is your engine coolant. On this one, this is a hybrid vehicle, same thing again, you got the maximum and minimum. This one is just close to minimum, so all he's got to do, only do this when the engine is cold, don't open this when it's hot. Yeah, top it up. Wash your fluid again, it's over here, simple thing, just lift that up, get some nice clean screen wash and pour that into that. That's that one there. This is only for hybrid drivers. Yeah, again, this has got the maximum and minimum, this is all perfect. If this fluid does drop down, consult your nearest garage. And then basically that is all that chucked over here. Now they got a few things, that's your top bit there. Now fuel filler cap is simple, I'll show you that in a second. And again, they're saying there must not be any power steering, water leaks and stuff like that. And then they're saying engine off and look for puddles. With the engine on, check underneath. Now obviously you can't crawl underneath your car, but what I'll do is I'll take these off for you and just simplify it. So simplify this here. Basically all they're saying is here, look, I think most of the people would know, when you're parked your car here on a certain spot, and when you move your car backwards, if you see any oil leaks, any brake leaks, any coolant leaks, that's all they're asking you to check. So you don't have to be a qualified mechanic and do all them checks. All you do is just move your car back after it's running for a few minutes. If there's no puddles on the floor, you are good to go, and you can give that a tick. And then the fuel cap, I think on this one is on the passenger side. Let me just close his bonnet. Where's your fuel button on this? Oh, yeah. So basically the fuel cap, you know, I think they're just trying to get you to do the MOT test yourself. Yeah. All you're doing, see, as you hear that now, when I unscrewed it, you hear the hissing. All they're asking you to do is check this seal all the way around. So that rubber seal stops any vapors or smell coming out into the atmosphere. And that's that bit there. Absolutely beautiful. And now we've already gone through most of your checks as well. Where it says, sorry, there was a bit over here there. Fuel filler cap must be sealed and not torn, perished or missing. Tick. So obviously fluid leaks, tick. That's with the engine. Basically it's just saying engine off, engine off. So while your car's running, just move your car back and then just have a look on the bottom. If there's no puddles, you're all good. And now the other thing, we'll just take a quick walk around the car here. So basically I'll talk as I'm saying this. All it's saying is check all doors, they start open and close, and there's no corrosion or panel damage. So basically all you're doing is just that, same again with your boot. You're just opening the boot, closing the boot, and obviously we know with this car is all perfect, open, close. And with Wolverhampton, as you know, they like to check the bodywork in this at the moment. Like I said, the bodywork is all brilliant. You can't see what they're looking for, excessive panel damage. So if you've got a dented door, get it sorted. And if you walk around on with this, just minor scratches on this over here, but minor again, I don't know how fussy they are. Just get them touched up. As long as there's no heavy scratches, there's no heavy panel damage on it, then basically that's all three checks here. All your doors opening, closing, there's no sharp edges, there's no corrosion, all your body panels are okay, rust free and dent free. Now this last one here, sorry, there's a couple of more checks. Now it says exhaust has to be secure, free from leaks, and must not emit any excessive smoke. Now that I will just explain to you. This is something you as a person can't do, yeah? But however, as a driver, when you start the car up, you should know if your exhaust is blowing, you will hear it leaking, yeah? If that's the case, take it down to the garage, yeah? The only thing you can do at the moment, whilst your car's running, this is hybrid now obviously, yeah? But whilst your car's running, the engine's running, all you're going to be looking out for is make sure there's no blue smoke, no black smoke, no any kind of smoke. I mean, Abdul, if you stay there for a second, I will just rev this engine up 4 ends. On the hybrid car, they do go up. The engine's running, nothing coming out like it moves. So Abdul, your car is absolutely beautiful. So that is basically just as simple as that, tick it off. Now this thing here, which I would like to emphasize on, and as you can see, look, we're almost right down. Now these two are the same checks over here, but they just make a bit more. So basically just saying check your tires, and the tires can't be more than 1.6 across 75, yeah? So Abdullah will explain that. And then the other thing, obviously they're saying your tire pressures, make sure there's no cuts in the walls, there's no ply cord showing, and wheel nuts, which I will show you as well at the same time. So if you come to the front, full lock your car, your front tires, you should have no issues. Full lock to the front, and then basically here's your tire now, yeah? This one is taking a little bit of wear. This is a perfect tire example. This is taken away from the inside, and it says here the 75% of your tire grip itself. 75% basically is from this point here to that point there. Anything in between here, obviously it can't be less than 1.6, and those people that don't know what 1.6 is, that's why you have these markers. These markers here, once your tire grip levels up with that here, then consult your near tire place and get the tires changed. And then with this one now, also what they're saying, this is a perfect example. If your tires is wearing from the inner edge, the rest of the tire is good. Keep an eye on this, because when this goes down, it goes down to the metal cords. That's what they're saying on the next paragraph. As long as you can't see any metal cords, this tire is still safe. The only thing I'd advise Abdul here, to get the tires or the wheels aligned, and then that should eliminate this fault. Otherwise you'll notice your tire will be new on this side, but it'll be bald or worn on the inside. And that's one of the checks. And while you're here on this same tire, all you're doing, you got 5 nuts on this car. Just make sure all 5 nuts are present, nothing's missing. Simple as. And then back onto this side. And if you look at Abdul's car here again, this is absolutely beautiful again. It's a different type of pattern on this one, but same thing again. Remember, it is 3/4 of your tire. If that's a full tire, just measure a little bit from here, from this bit to that bit. Anything in between these has to be 1.6. Now even on this tire as well, and the other one did have tire wear indicator on it, but this one does have them, if you can see clearly there, but it's just scattered all over. So same again, this tire is all bang on, it's perfect. And while you're at this wheel, check all your nuts are still there and present. So if you've got bolts, all them are present. And then coming back to the back, now this is the hardest bit here, but I will use my own phone for this one now, yeah? Check again for the nuts. And one of the other checks, sorry, which I've missed out on the front 2 tires, because we was concentrating on the grip. Now the sidewall, all you're doing is making sure there's no bulges, no bubbles, no cuts, or anything that's deep enough to reach the metal cords. And then there's no splits or anything. That's what basically they're asking you there. And then obviously your tire inflation. Now a lot of the people can't see the grip on the back. What I would do is get your camera out, flick it across, put it onto wide angle. This is the best way to check it, because we have equipment, you don't. And all you're going to do is, hopefully, if I can get a decent picture of it. Yeah. And if you see from here, actually 1 second, Abdul, let me just concentrate on this bit, sorry. I didn't quite get a good picture on the, you have to just lean in. There, that's perfect actually, yeah. So if you can't obviously crawl underneath, take a picture of it, and then same again, you can see obviously the grip all the way, the tyre's not wearing from in the outer edge, and it's all good. So that's one way to check the tyre, because I had a lot of cars where the grip's been okay up to here, and the inside edge is completely bald. And then you can see it from the top here as well, you know, you can go across the top. Now there's a thing called tyre tread depth gauge. You can get from Halfords anyway, it costs about £2-3, and then I will probably show you that after how to use that anyway. But that, sticking back to the video, that's all your tyres. And then you just walk around again. Over on this side, same thing. There's no cuts, there's no bulges, there's no nothing on this tyre. All your locking nuts or your wheel nuts are present, and that's all they're asking you for on that. And
What about the inner foot?
the inner grip again, the same thing. Do you want to take a picture of it and just do it?
Yeah, just
Oh, while we're here.
might as well get a free MOT, honey.
Yeah, okay. And okay, yeah, so same thing again. The best thing to do is, if you haven't got anything to jack the car up with, just take a picture of it. 1 second. There. And if you take the picture again, and you can see this side again, the tyre hasn't got any uneven wear, and then all the grip seems all fine. And like I said, the grip, you can also put your fingers across and you can feel it, and you can see it from here. The back tyre is a bit more difficult to check because you can't full lock them. And then same again, so that's all that there. So if you come to this again, check as much as you can on the tyres. As you can see, as I say, that's we've done the grip check all round. And then on this box again, inflation, basically that's your tyre pressure. There's no cuts on the wall, there's no ply codes showing, there's no nuts or anything missing, all that's done. Now this bit here basically just saying your space saver. All he's saying is basically, now if you don't have that repair kit or anything, and if you had a puncture and you had to put your spare wheel on, your space saver, so basically they're saying, yeah, don't work with your space saver on. So if you got a puncture, change it over, put your wheel into the car, take it down to the nearest tyre shop, get it repaired, get that back on again, then you can continue on working. You cannot drive on a spare wheel or work on a spare wheel. So you can drive on a spare wheel, but you cannot work, you can't pick up jobs and stuff like that. So that's that one there, which is a check. Now the final thing, we're almost done with this now, yeah. All it's saying is, yeah, all your required plates, mandatory signs have to be in place. So basically, I know they're scrapping the door signage thing, yeah, but you still have to have your back plate on there, you know, which is clearly showing over here. Now I know on the Birmingham you have to have the back and the front, so the front plate as well, which is in the windscreen, just make sure you just keep them 2 plates on, just for your own safety and obviously for others. So you got your front plate, back plate on.
So this is a Birmingham plate, but
yeah,
it's the
on
same
the
as...
Birmingham, it's a similar process. The reason why we use the Toyota Prius as well, because it's the most common vehicles here. So the best thing to do that, I mean, that's what he's just saying here. All required plates and mandatory signs. So for Birmingham, yes, front plate, back plate, and he's even got the side one on over here. But with you Wolverhampton drivers, you don't need to have any side ones on. It's optional. So that's all you're doing over there. And then you are just checking that. Then one of the other things he's saying, when displaying the license plate must not obscure vehicle registration, which is a very good thing. I will explain that in a way to hide the name of issuing authority or details. And then taxi route, I don't think anyone has that, man, so realistically that's a NA, but just tick it off anyway on your thing. Taxi meter, I don't think none of you guys are actually using that, so that's not applicable, but just tick that off as well. Now this bit here, what they're saying, I've seen a lot of drivers do this here. After they're located on the number on the back bumper, a lot of the people, what they do is they put the plate holder by the actual number plate or behind the number plate, and what happens is that plate then is obscuring half of your number plate so you can't see it, or the other way around. So that's what they're saying, just make sure that your number plate isn't being obscured by that plate. And that more or less is everything we've done over here. Now I've done this here for you brothers, and I've done it as best as I can, yeah, just to make it more simplified. I mean, because it's my everyday job, I mean, something like this, I'll probably do less than 3-4 minutes. That's all it is. And it's something that I normally urge most of the drivers, if you're out there, just do all these checks basically. And that, I think, Brother Abdul, should be a wrap on this one. And then don't forget your brother Naveed, we still do the MOTs, Birmingham, Wolverhampton, Hackney carriages, everything. And then I hope you all have a beautiful and a wonderful day. Take it easy.
Thank you, Brother Naveed.
No worries.
Islam.